Today we're going to be taking a look at the best hitch options for your 2018 Toyota Camry. Up top here we're going to have our Draw-Tite. It's going to be a Class 2 hitch. And right below that we're going to have our Curt, which is also going to be a Class 2 hitch. Now if it were me looking for a hitch for my Camry, I would go with the Draw-Tite for a few different reasons. I found that it does install a little bit easier, and as you can see it's going to share a lot of the similarities with the Curt. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of the differences between the two and go over some of the features. So the first real big difference that you're going to notice is going to be the design of our receiver tubes. They're both going to give us an 1.25 inch by 1.25 inch receiver tube opening, but they're going to have a little bit of different look to them. Our Curt's going to have this reinforced collar. It's going to have a flush cut, just have a nice clean finish look to it. Whereas with the Draw-Tite, it is going to have a reinforced collar, but it's just going to be this ring that's going around our receiver tube. Another small difference that we're going to have is going to be our safety chain connection points. With our Curt, you can see that it's going to be a plate style welded to the bottom of the receiver tube. And you'll see we have plenty of room to get hooks on, but since this flange is here and it's really square, you want to be careful with some really small hooks because it may be a little difficult to get them in place. But with our Draw-Tite, we're going to have a loop style welded to the bottom of the receiver tube. And you can see that it's going to be a lot more open, and we have a lot more access to get our hooks on or off. Now those minor differences are just cosmetic, and it's really going to come down to what you like the look of. But if installation is going to be a concern of yours, I will say that the Draw-Tite is going to install a little bit easier. Both of our hitches are going to require us to drill some holes and trim the underbody panel underneath as well as the heat shield. But we found with our Curt, we do have to fish wire some hardware in place. On the passenger side, we did find it very difficult to get the hardware through the frame rail because of a few different layers that are in there. But with the Draw-Tite, again, we still are going to have to drill a little bit and fish wire a few bolts in, but the location where we're going to be fish wiring it is going to be much farther forward on our Camry, so we're not going to have to deal with a lot of the same problems that we did with our Curt. Now weight obviously is going to be a main concern when you're looking for a hitch, because we're either going to need it to do some light duty towing, or we're going to put a bike rack or a cargo carrier on the back of our Camry. Well, both of our hitches are going to have a 350-pound tongue weight, and that's going to be the maximum downward force at the receiver tube. And both of our hitches are going to have a 3,500-pound gross trailer weight rating. That's the amount they can pull, including the trailer and everything we have loaded on it. But with all those numbers in mind, you always want to double check your Camry's owner's manual because you don't want to exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. Now as far as appearance goes, both of our hitches are going to sit right below our bumper, and the cross tube is going to be visible. Here we have our Curt installed, but the Draw-Tite is going to look very similar on where it sits. We're just going to have that different style receiver tube and safety chain connection points. So to sum everything up, I feel like our Draw-Tite is going to be the better choice because both of our hitches are going to share so many of the same features, but our Draw-Tite is going to install that much easier. We hope this information has helped you when you're looking for a hitch for your Camry.